God damn.
One more time. Forgot about the fade.
God damn.
Goddamn is right, man. Goddamn is right. Did you turn yourself down?
No, it should be turned up.
Oh, okay. That sounds like normal now. All right. What is going on, everybody? What is going on, everybody, man? Welcome back to another edition of Unscripted, man. This is episode 216. Yes, 216 episodes here of Unscripted, man. This is obviously the 216th. And, welcome back, like I said, to another edition of Unscripted. As if this is your first time watching and you guys do not know who we are here at NHP, or sorry, if you guys do not know how the show works here at NHP, God, what is going on? If this is your first time watching and you guys do not know how the show works here at NHP, man, every Monday we're on here live after Monday Night Raw with Unscripted. Every Friday we are on here at 4 p.m. Central with the news, and for the big pay-per-view, or for the pay-per-views for both WWE and AEW, we are live directly after the show goes off the air with the official post-show review, man. If you guys did miss Saturday's edition of the Bad Blood 2024 review, as well as the news, man, from Friday, that is AEW gets their TV rights deal. AEW secures their TV rights deal. I believe that is episode 234. Yes, AEW secures their TV rights deal, as well as the Bad Blood predictions and the main event, or the spoiler on what was to be the main event of the show. So like I said, the news as well as the Bad Blood review, man, are available on all platforms for you guys. That is Anchor, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and if you want to see it first, join us right here live every single Friday at 4 p.m. Central, and for the pay-per-views for WWE and AEW after the directly after the show with the official post-show review. We actually have another post-show review coming up this weekend for AEW's Wrestle Dream on Saturday night. So that should be fun. Hopefully it's a good show, man. Which overall I think it will be, even though, you know, everything may not make sense. I think they will turn out a good show, and we are going to talk about that Dynamite here in a minute, and some of the things that are going to happen on Wrestle Dream. So, yes, you guys can catch us this Saturday for the Wrestle Dream review. But yes, if you guys did miss if you guys did miss those two episodes, like I said, the Bad Blood review and the and this past Friday's episode of the news, man, those are available on all platforms for you guys. If you guys have not got a chance to pick up some of the official NHP merchandise, you guys can now find this live on the merch shop. That is bonfire.com. Link is at the top of the description of this very video, man, where you can get the the newest piece of NHP merchandise to go along with the rebrand of the podcast, man. Link is at the top of the description of this very video, man. Live now on bonfire.com. So, if this is your first time watching and you guys do not know who we are here at NHP, I am Johnny, one half of the host of this very show. And as for the other half, we got my man Sir K here. How the hell are you, bro?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. Just been chilling out, man. It was a pretty good weekend. Bad blood. So it was pretty good, pretty fun. Good show, pretty fun weekend. And yeah, we got Wrestle Dream this weekend, and I'm intrigued. We'll see how it goes, man. So, I'm sure it's gonna be a fine show. So that's good, man. But I've been doing good. Like Durante, always ask, how's life? How's the family? Life's good. Family's good. How is everybody doing in a live chat? How's everyone doing in the replay? And what about you, bro? How are you doing?
Man, I'm doing good, bro. I'm doing good, man. Just chilling, bro. Just chilling. I guess rebounding from the weekend, I guess. Yeah, rebounding from the weekend, bro. Just getting back to the normal everyday schedule, bro. And yeah, it was a fun weekend. It was a very fun weekend. It was, yeah. If you would have told me, we always talk about this kind of stuff with WWE, but if you would have told me 2 years ago that we would all be getting together to watch a WWE October pay-per-view, which was either Fastlane or some sort of Hell in a Cell or some sort of Extreme Rules horror show, whatever the October show was for that year. If you would have told me we would be all getting together to watch it together, I probably would have laughed in your face, bro. But it was good, man. It was good. It was a nice it was a great show. It was a nice weekend overall, man. So I enjoyed it as always. Usually when it comes to these type of shows, and yeah, I enjoyed it, man. I enjoyed it, and it was a good show. And I'm doing good, bro. I'm doing good. But as Durante always asks, man, I'm good. Family's good. What about you, Durante, Logan, Bell, Hunter? How are you guys doing? And thank you guys for being here. Whether you're here now, whether you are a part of the Replay Mafia, man. My guys, JT and JB. How is everybody doing, man? And thank you guys, as always, for joining us. Man, so I see your comment, Hunter. He says he found a video of a fan at Bad Blood who was standing next to Solo when The Rock came out, and Solo said, "This is all a part of the plan." I did see that video. And which we uploaded a shorts on it, but I think the title of the shorts was something along the lines of, "Could WWE have done more with The Rock's return?" And I talked about that specifically because for Solo to say that, it obviously is going to play into some type of story with The Rock being aligned with the new bloodline. And The Rock obviously said on his little promo on the way out of the building that there's been a bunch of bullshit going on around here for the last 6 months. You know what I mean? And if it is if it is all a part of Solo's plan, I would have liked, because they showed the new bloodline in the crowd after Rock came out. That was why I was saying I would have liked some sort of like dastardly smirk or some sort of just look of, not panic on Solo's
Hmm.
face, you know what I mean? As opposed to them all just staring at The Rock with, little to no expression on their face. I thought the new bloodline could have sold that a lot better. Like I said, all we needed was just some confused looks on Cody, Roman, and Jimmy, which they did. They did have confused looks, but the new bloodline, or the bloodline, whatever you want to call them, I wish they would have had I wish they just would have had expressions on their face that said a little bit more than they did. But I did see the video, and I think it's going to play into a very interesting story, as we get down, and get down into the nitty gritty with all this bloodline stuff. So it's exciting, though. It's exciting, man. I like, I like, obviously this is one of my favorite main roster stories ever, and I'm excited to see where it goes.
Definitely, man. Definitely. I'm excited. I'm very intrigued to see how they're going to do it. And Rock was definitely making those teasers, man. And I saw that video, and would have been nice to, get a hint of that on actual television, but we'll see how it goes and how they set it up.
Definitely. Okay. So before we get on to the Dynamite 5-year anniversary, and I know Sir Case is dying to talk about it. It was a crazy
On a
episode.
die.
Me and Sir K over the past weekend got the chance to officially watch full through binge the whole 6 episodes. We watched the entirety of the Mr. McMahon Vince McMahon documentary or docu-series on Netflix. Um so obviously going into this, we had heard that it's basically just a lot of stuff that we know about, and it's a lot of stuff that it's a lot of stuff that it's a lot of stuff we know about, and we heard a bunch of different things going into it, but overall, man, through your watching experience, man, what did you think overall?
I liked it, man. Overall, I think I liked it. It was a decent amount of information that, most wrestling fans knew already about Vince and his actions, and they left obviously a little out. But overall, I think it was really good. It was a good because What people fail to realize about that is most of it was about, the earlier stages of his run in his career. So obviously, it wasn't until like the very last episode they finally got to this era to, talk about that. But just thought it was good through and through all the scandals he's been through. Obviously, not all of them, but a lot of them. A lot of company related scandals, a lot of innuendos for this and that. And I thought overall, I thought it did a really good job. I liked it. I think it portrayed him in the perfect light of, not good. And I think they did well. I think I liked it.
Yeah, but me too. Me too. There was a couple things in there that I did not know. I did not know about the whole Ring Boy scandal. I'm sure a lot of you guys knew about it, but for whatever reason, that story never made it to my plate. And I had never heard about that, so that was kind of shocking. Again, I don't know. I'm sure a lot of you guys know about it. A lot of you guys are probably like, how did you not know about that? But most of the things in there, man, I knew about almost I knew about most of that. I knew about most of that, and but that was the one scandal, I would say, that I genuinely did not remember hearing about. I remember hearing about the main guy that was like, the predator in the situation, but I had never like heard full blown about the scandal. But I did hear about that sketchy ring announcer that was having, the kids set up the ring and whatnot. But I did not know about that. There was as you got to the later episodes, I want to say it was like episodes 3 and 4, it was kind of just a little, it was a little glazy. I can't lie,
A
it was a
little
little
bit.
glazy. So it kind of started to drag a little bit around episodes 3 or 4. It was just talking about, how, it was basically just bringing you through the eras of wrestling, and how, he was just the promoter through all of it, and how, his kids were upset he didn't get any credit for creating these characters and stuff like that. And yeah, I mean, those episodes kind of drag for me. The the episodes where it would paint him, I think, in the correct light, I liked. And then obviously too, you just got the sense of how hypocritical Vince McMahon is, being that,
Oh
he was talking himself into circles on,
yeah.
like even it was so bad to the point where even the interviewers were questioning his answers, because there was a point where he was talking about how Ted Turner was stealing all of his talent, even though he was telling these guys to go there to get a better deal. So Ted starts taking his
Mhm.
talent. He starts taking his
And he
talent. Huh?
Go ahead.
Oh, Ted starts taking his talent. He's telling them to go there, but then when they go there, he sues Ted for, or he tries to sue Ted for all this stuff, and he's saying he's going to hurt the company. And they called him out on that and said, "Well, Vince, isn't that what you did with the territories?" And he's like, "Well, no, I didn't want to kill the territories. I just wanted to compete." And they were like, "Well, you didn't see what Ted Turner was doing as competing?" And he genuinely said no. Like, how the hypocrisy on that man is second to none, bro. But uh
Insane.
yeah, but what were you saying?
I was just about to, iterate what you said, but yeah, dude, it's especially like Hunter mentioned, a lot of that WCW related stuff was very hypocritical. Like, or when he would be on those interviews and people would be asking him hard-hitting questions, back in old interviews he would take, and he would be like getting in their face and like smacking the papers out their hand because he was so
Dude,
mad. Like, that shit's wild.
Yeah, there was the one. There was the one reporter. He was asking him something about it was one of his scandals. Actually, there might have been two on set. There was one where he
Mhm.
smacked the papers. He tried to smack the papers out of the guy's hand, and then there was another one where he like pulled the chair up to the point where they were basically touching knees, and he was something of a hothead, bro. But the stuff regarding his kids, I thought was very interesting too. To hear Stephanie talk about how some of the stuff was kind of weird, and to like hear Triple H talk about how you know he wanted their wedding on pay-per-view, and then they said no, and he said he was telling Stephanie that she was selfish for it, and all this kind of stuff. And then when it got to Shane, it was it was obviously very hypocritical, the stuff that the Shane part of it. I thought he it obviously made you feel really bad for Shane. How he was talking about how he just wanted to be in the business, and how they disagreed on creative, and Vince McMahon told him to stab him. He's gonna have to stab him in the heart to get his way on this decision. And then he was telling him to do it because that he would have put his father down if they disagreed about stuff. And just stuff and then Shane ended up leaving the company, and like you could just tell he didn't want to leave the company. He had to,
Mhm.
just because they just weren't seeing eye to eye, and it was ruining their personal relationship. And that stuff sucked to see, man. And it almost indirectly, I know this wasn't the cause behind it, but it almost makes you want to see him in AEW, or not even specifically AEW, but it makes you want to see him back in professional wrestling, because you know I don't think anybody knew how much Shane loved the business as much as he did, because he was too
Mhm.
busy trying to impress his dad, who never showed him that he was proud of him. So it almost makes you want to see Shane have a place in the business again, because of how much he loves the business. And that sucked to see. And then the whole thing with buying UFC, I thought Vince was just a complete dick about that. His dad obviously helped him get into the business and break into the business, and helped him huge, and gave him the company, even though it was supposed to go to somebody else. And yet
Mhm.
Shane wanted to buy UFC, and Vince was just telling him, yeah, if Shane wanted to do it, he would have had to have done it. Like, bro, you can't help your son and then just have him pay you back through the return on investment. And it's UFC, bro. It would have been a return on investment, but I don't know, man. It was messed up. It was messed up. And then obviously it paints the picture, it really paints the picture for the whole Janelle Grant situation. They obviously didn't talk about it. They didn't talk about it, much. But as soon as they flashed the little, image on the screen of, Vince canceled his final scheduled interviews for the documentary after the Janelle Grant situation came out. It basically, I think that basically paints the picture for most of what we need to know. But other than that, man, like I said, around the middle of it, man, there was a point where it was kind of like, okay, what are we doing here? But otherwise, man, I liked it. I thought they did a good job. And this was something that I fully
Mhm.
expected to fall flat on its face, and it didn't. There was a lot of intriguing aspects, and a lot of aspects I liked about it. So it gets a thumbs up for me.
Definitely, I would give it a thumbs up overall. I enjoyed it. Like you said, a part of it maybe in the later half, which I thought, before we got into the doc, the earlier half would be more glazy and the later half wouldn't be, but it was kind of the reverse overall. But I overall liked it and will give it a thumbs up.
Definitely. Definitely, man. So that was that for uh so towards the end, Hunter, they started to bury him, and then they played this video of Bruce Pritchard where he's
Ugh.
just pissed, and he's sitting down and he's like, talking about how this doc is bullshit, and how he's talking about how this documentary is trying to paint him as an asshole. And then he's talking about how, you know, you guys didn't talk about what the good he did, which, to be honest, bro, they did. I mean, honestly, they, you know, obviously not saying what he did, was what he did through his entire life was right by any means of the imagination. You guys know how we feel about that, but it almost gave you, not a reason, but it almost gave you a bit of a it gave you stuff to sympathize with him, maybe as to why he turned out the way he turned out. They talked about how, they talked about how he was beat by his stepdad, and how his mother-in-law used to, you know, do stuff with him. I'm sure you guys can all imagine what I'm talking about. But it really, again, not saying what he did was right. It was his decision to repeat the cycle, but it gave you. And then too, around the middle of it, they basically just glazed this dude as the greatest promoter of all time, which, I mean, he is, but I mean that's what they did. That's what they did. They they
hmm
they just, so for Bruce Pritchard to get on there at the end all pissed off like a little baby, talking about, you guys are just painting him as an asshole, like, not necessarily, bro. They actually talked a lot of good about Vince and what he did for the business. So that was kind of just, that was kind of, I felt, just Bruce Pritchard going into defense mode, which, I mean, I guess Vince is his friend, so, people are always going to stick up for their friends. But I mean, come on, bro. Like, the doc hasn't even come out yet, so you don't even know what's all in there and what's not. So that was kind of idiotic, and just really goes to show, that Vince, he has his people that are loyal to him, bro, and obviously Bruce Pritchard is one of them.
Oh
But
yeah.
yeah, he was very upset towards the end of it, because yeah, they were painting him as an asshole, and then he talked about how they're not talking about how he did anything good, which was untrue, because the doc showed a lot of that. So yeah, it was just kind of, there was that. But yeah, so I thought, I thought it definitely buried him. I don't know if I would say this was a double shovel burial, but it was a
No,
burial.
it was overall.
Speaking of buried, AEW Dynamite. Oh, bro. Then there was the clip of him talking about Rita Chatterton, the referee. This
hmm
man literally said that, what they did was consensual, and even if it wasn't, what did he say? The statute of limitations had ran out.
Exactly. Yep. So he literally just said yeah, I did it, but I can't get in trouble for it. That's insane, bro.
AEW Dynamite, the 5-year anniversary. We got 3 back-to-back-to-back weeks of special episodes of Dynamite. We
Yep.
had Grand Slam. This week we had the 5-year anniversary. Tomorrow is Dynamite Title Tuesday. So,
Oh,
AEW Dynamite. The 5-year anniversary, man. The show took place from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, as the hard cam was on the opposite side, man. It was a nice little. I like
I
when they
did
do that
like
every now and again.
I like that. That was one of my favorite production aspects of, Black and Gold NXT. And man, I like seeing it on Wednesday. I like that.
For sure, man. A John Moxley, Pac, Claudio, Marina Shafir promo opens up the show from the parking lot, doing one of their little cinematic promos. Pac says, "War is upon us. It's time for you to choose sides, but as we know, you're not like the rest of them. A zoo creature, somebody bought to be paraded around. You're more than that. You're a lion. So stop acting like you haven't already chosen. Claudio says, I'm still the same guy. And so is Mox. So I don't understand what the problem is. If you want to talk to me, you know where to find me. This is your home. We still have big plans for you, Wheeler. Marina Shafir then walks up to the mic and says something in Russian. Please just keep her silent. Please.
Please
Her
keep her out the group.
silent, her silent nature has worked well thus far. Please don't start having her speak Russian, bro. We already know she speaks English. So don't,
What are you
please.
doing here? Literally, like, why?
I don't know. So John Moxley says, I prayed every night you would not win the world championship, Brian. So here we are. I'm gonna have that belt one way or another. There will be casualties. You're gonna get a gift from the universe and a gift from me. The opportunity to go out on your own shield. To die a warrior's death on your home soil. You will be buried in your backyard peacefully, beautifully. Faith is not going to put a better offer on the table than that. On October 12th, I officially relieve you of your duties. I'm sending Daddy home for good. This dude, God, I love these, bro. This John Moxley, like, so they're almost like outside of an arena or maybe like in some
Mhm.
like dead part of downtown ish where it's like it's dark out and you just see like these like yellow like street lamps and it's
Mhm.
just and the eerie music, that like they play and to go along with John Moxley's delivery, there's nothing like it, bro. Him talking like I'm getting goosebumps now. Like, dude, the part where he talks about Brian going out on his own shield, dying a warrior's death, being buried in his backyard beautifully, peacefully. It's amazing. I love these little promos, and every time I see a cinematic open by the Blackpool Combat Club or whatever this group is called, could we get some clarification on that so I don't have to call them the
Well,
BCC or Moxley's group? Um,
well, might have some on Friday, depending on if that's, the news.
is there a name?
It's an old name he tried to trademark that he's apparently trying to trademark again. So it might be the name of the group, but that
Interesting.
also means someone else would have to be involved, and it's very interesting. I can't wait till Friday with that one.
Hmm. I'm intrigued. I am intrigued, but well, hopefully we should have a follow up on that for you guys on Friday. But yes, can we please give some clarification on that? And yes, dude, every time John Moxley opens up a Dynamite with one of these cinematic promos, this is probably the only 3 minutes of the programming where I'm actually into what I'm watching. I love these. Obviously, Mox is great on the mic. He always has been. Even when he was good old Dean, he was great on the mic. But yeah, it's just, man, just something about the production of these little backstage promos that they got going on. They are shot and they are produced beautifully. And what is up, naysayers, bro? How are you, my man?
Alright, man, how you doing? But definitely, dude, they're really good. I like the vibe, I like the cadence, and I like the atmosphere that that these Moxley promos are having, and it's very interesting, especially with later in the night, the direction of the group.
Yes. Um, the opening match on Dynamite was Will Ospreay versus Ricochet. Don Callis is in the back. He uh goes up to Will, who's talking to Kyle Fletcher, and he says to Fletcher, "Hey, we got a flight to catch. We got to leave." So they go, And then Takeshita has this weird little stare down with Will Ospreay where they're just looking at each other. And Will just kind of brushes it off. Will goes out, wrestles his match with Ricochet. As for the match with Ricochet, it was great. Okay, it was acrobatics, it was athleticism, it was impressive feats of athleticism. Like I said, the match had no just yes, there was no fire lit under this match. There was no personal anguish here. This was just, you know, you said you told me for about a month straight in backstage segments that I'm just here to collect a paycheck, but I know I'm Kobe Bryant with it, and we're gonna fight now. That was what this match was. And dude,
Uh,
see, you guys know, like you guys know that me and Sir K here, when it comes to like AEW fans and being in our comment sections, it is one thing that just absolutely amuses me. So obviously we get a lot of comments and stuff like that in these shorts, and whenever I'm going over them to review my analytics, I half the time just crack up laughing at how mad they get, because there's been so many shorts where we've uploaded and we've questioned stories in AEW, and these fans get so fucking mad to the point where they write out, we posted one with Brian and Nigel. They write out the story, and they write out what it is, and they're trying to almost sell it to you. Well, how could you say this isn't a story? The story here is Nigel, after 12 years, still has Danielson on the mind, and Danielson's moved on, so Danielson had to come out of the woodworks and put him in his place. Dude, there's no story there, bro. The story was one side. And then I got a bunch of people yesterday that were questioning us saying that world champions in WWE need to be protected. People were upset about that. I kept seeing comments that were like, what do you mean the world champions need to be protected? Are you joking? Are you a
yeah.
half-witted fucking idiot? Are you stupid? Like, what? That's the point of a world champion, is you're the top guy on the show. I would hope they would be protected. But wrestling fans are a different breed, man. But
I will say, I got one comment on one of mine that did make me laugh. I was scrolling on TikTok when it, popped up that it commented, and I
okay,
was like, okay, that one was funny as hell. It was talking about the Crown Jewel, title and shit, and
okay,
it said, it looks like a leprechaun threw up on the AEW title. I was like, oh, come on, bruh.
that's
This shit is
hilarious.
hilarious.
And we
I'm
did
like,
get
man,
the wrestling fans are so funny, bro. They're so funny, and the best part is, I know they write those comments, and they think, they're really
oh,
gonna, I'm gonna take what they're saying as serious. But bro, man, I mean, God, I mean, you guys know who I listen to, bro, and that's, you guys in chat. We love having your company, but these random no face accounts that comment on our stuff, it is some of the top tier comedy. If I ever need something to laugh, or it was one on the Danielson and Brian video too. The one of the guys put, um, these are this is how typical CM Punk fans sound. I'm like, what? Who the fuck said anything about CM Punk?
dude,
So
they don't stop talking about CM Punk. Like, bruh, like, dog, I'm blocked. You mean typical CM? Yeah, I love CM Punk, but dude, he blocked me too. He didn't like what I had to say when he was doing shit at AEW. What the fuck you mean? Ugh, dude, they don't stop talking about CM Punk, bro.
they do not, and that they probably never will. But no, they're hilarious, bro. But the amount of people that I've seen commenting, about this Will Ospreay, and just trying to sell me on a story here. And again, the reason I mention our comment section is because AEW fans, they are the best promoters in the world. I mean, when I tell you they will sit there, and like I said, I used our comment sections as an example. They will sit there and try to sell you a storyline as if they're promoting the company, and I've seen that for the past week with Will Ospreay and Ricochet. How could you say there's no story? The story is he came into AEW and Will called him out because he didn't want to see him do what he was doing in WWE. What?
What?
So
He
everything's about
wasn't.
WWE. So
He really doesn't want him to do what he's doing in WWE. What? So you don't say, see, what? Dude, these fans, I will give it to them. They promote better than Tony Khan himself. I'll give it to them, but still, bro, this shit ain't stories, bro. Just because Blank got passed with Blank, that's not a story. That's a setup to a story, but that's not a story. And Ricochet and Will Ospreay, was it a good match? Yes. Did I care? No. First of all, you put it on TV. That's your first crime.
yep.
Second of all, you just put it on. No story, no real story. It was just fucking Ricochet being Kobe Bryant with it. And it, it was nothing. It just happened and it's already gone. The biggest fucking feud that this dude came into this company for is already gone. It's already done. The match is done. What the fuck?
Yep. Yep. So yeah, they have been doing it all week. They've been coming to the defense of Will Ospreay and Ricochet. Bro, I'm sorry. I can't care about this match when you're giving me nothing to care about. Um I mean, bro, do you think half of the match of the year candidates this year are match of the year candidates without some sort of story in there? I mean, Punk and I would be willing to argue with you that Punk and McIntyre wouldn't have been as good without the story being as rich as it was. Now, again, would it still have been an amazing Hell in a Cell match? Yes. What they did in the ring physically was incredible. But what gives it that extra boost, what gives it that extra just oomph to the match is the story behind it. It's the why they're in Hell in a Cell. Why did it get to this point to where these guys are busting fucking toolboxes over each other's heads? You know what I mean? It's the why. So again, obviously I'm not saying it would have been a bad match without the story, but again, the story just aids it so much. It aids it so much, and it really just it really just makes it that much more great. And again, it's the why, man, and that's your most important question in professional wrestling is why is this happening, why is this happening, why are these two guys why do they hate each other, why? It's all about the whys, bro. Why this match happened, I don't fucking know. And that's the worst case scenario to be in. Sir K talked about this last week with or it might have been, yeah, I think it was last week on Unscripted or 2 weeks ago on News. You can't play me the fucking movie trailer and tell me that that was the movie. You know what I mean? What
No.
Ricochet and Will Ospreay were doing in backstage segments with Will Ospreay telling him to get off his fucking lazy ass and, stop collecting a paycheck, that's a tease. That's a tease for what is to come. That's a tease for an eventual feud of, maybe Ricochet hears that. Maybe he laughs it off the first couple times because he thinks Will Ospreay's their friend. But then it gets a little more serious and he starts to think, yo, why do you keep fucking telling me to stop collecting a check? You know what I mean? And then it turns into something more serious and it snowballs into a good story. Here we are. They give us the trailer to the movie and that
That's
was
it.
it.
It's
I don't know.
insane, dude.
So, like I said, there was impressive feats of athleticism that I did not care about, and
Mhm.
these two hit a Ricochet, or sorry, Will Ospreay hits a Poison Rana on Ricochet. Ricochet no sells it, and he hits another Poison Rana, and Ospreay comes up, and as soon as he gets to his feet, he hits Ricochet with a hidden blade for a double pin. So both of these two are upset that it was a double pin, so they order for the match to be restarted. The match got restarted. Will Ospreay hit Ricochet with a running hidden blade to then be attacked by Takeshita after the match. Takeshita attacks Will Ospreay and Ricochet. He holds up the International Championship. Okay. So, first of all, I'll say I'm glad AEW went with a no contest finish.
Oh yeah.
I'm glad they did that. That was at least the one good thing they did out of this whole ordeal. Secondly, instead of doing the whole restart the match thing, what I would have done to deprive the fans of this match was have Takeshita come out like 6 minutes into it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Don't even let them get out of first gear and have Takeshita come out there and hold up the championship, because then obviously you're leaving a lot on the table. You let these guys go for like 20 minutes, and then you had this whole situation with the restart of the match and another hidden blade and all this type of stuff, and then Takeshita comes out there. That I didn't agree with whatsoever. I thought you easily should have had Takeshita come out there. If you were going to have him come out there, have him come out there like 5 or 6 minutes into the match and basically give the fans almost nothing to make you want to see these guys run it back.
Mm-hmm.
And then that points me to the other problem. Takeshita.
Mm.
Wasn't this guy just a few weeks ago getting up in Okada's face, seeming like he was going for the Continental Championship, and now he's just here going for Will Ospreay's title?
It's like, dog, pick a lane. Where are you going, buddy? You can't drive in the median. You gotta pick a lane, dog. Uh, I would like a concrete direction with Takeshita, but this is a direction, so it's good to go, I guess. But man, okay, can you be a little more smoother in your direction next time, Tony? And I definitely agree with what you say with the match, and then how Takeshita interrupted it. I would have liked it at the beginning of the match, right at the start. Maybe right as they start one of their the Will Ospreay and Ricochet sequences, you know what I mean? Do it right at the start of one of those. Right as they start, like a sequence where like they get one maybe switch off in, that's when he comes in and ruins the fun. Because he's a heel, so wouldn't that be his whole goal, is to like ruin the fun of the fans that want to see this match? Would that not be a heel thing to do? It'd get him some heel heat, especially with these AEW fans.
Yeah. 100%. 100%, man. I didn't understand that at all. And again, a huge logic gap here with Takeshita seeming like he was going to be going for the Continental Championship, and now here we are just a few weeks later, and now he's all up in Will Ospreay's business. So, I don't know. I don't know, man. So that was that again. Yeah. I don't, again, with the whole Okada teases, bro, I don't know why Takeshita was out there in the first place, but if you were going to send this dude out there, why you did not send him out there in the beginning of the match so this thing didn't even have time to get off its feet, I don't know. But yeah,
No.
so that was that, and AEW gave us a Will Ospreay and Ricochet match that I just did not care about, and that is sad. That is one of the saddest things this company's ever been through, because this was one of the matches that this was one of the whole reasons you signed this guy, and yeah.
Literally.
Mercedes is in the back. She's playing a video package about the best moments on Dynamite, which just so happen to be all of her moments. So the video package gets done. She says that Dynamite is all about her, and she is proud to have a small part in AEW Dynamite history. She says Monet changes everything. MVP walks up. He says, "Yes, it does." And here is this, just in case you are interested, as he hands her his business card. Interesting. Will we see Mercedes in the Hurt Syndicate?
That's interesting, dude. I don't. To be honest, they were teasing her with the Elite. The way this whole Elite thing went, I think I would rather definitely see her in the Hurt Syndicate.
Yeah, at this point, she would have been a great fit for the Elite, bro. But
I think she would have, but
I
the way they went,
the group is just
dead.
the ship has long sailed away for something that
Mhm.
was incredible at first. Hangman attacks the Guns in the back ahead of his match with Juice Robinson. So that was that. The commentators start talking. They start doing their little dialogue or whatever, and Big Bill just starts talking over them, as if it seemed there was a bit of a production mistime there for
No
Big
way.
Bill to start talking. Yeah. Big Bill says Dynamite, and he says Dynamite. Big Bill says, as the learning tree says, it's not about the destination, it's about who we become as people along the way. And after the last 1,825 days, we all become better people, and that's thanks to one man. Chris Jericho comes out. He says, "Hi, guys. Congrats on 5 years and the brand new TV deal AEW just signed." Yeah, thanks, Chris, for our discounted price. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, asshole. I'm real excited about it.
We made a lot of experts look like idiots. Ha ha ha. But I actually don't think I heard one dirt sheet say that AEW wasn't gonna get a TV deal.
Like that was all just random nothing accounts that would say that.
Yeah, so I don't know what experts Chris Jericho is talking about. And trust me, pro wrestling dirt sheets, pro wrestling news media is not really the most reliable, but I don't even think I heard them say that AEW
No,
wasn't gonna get a new deal.
they act like fucking Triple H was tweeting that shit out. Like, bro, it was nothing. Just those nothing WWE mark accounts that would do that. Like, bro, who cares?
So he said it would make a lot of experts look like idiots. Ha ha ha. But there wouldn't be a new TV deal or even AEW without Chris Jericho. So you can thank me for that. He says it's also the 34th anniversary of my debut. To think that I've gone from Ponoka, Alberta to Philadelphia, oh, sorry, Pittsburgh. So that got a huge, that got heat from the crowd. Is such an unbelievable feeling to think, and it's such an unbelievable feeling, and to think that I'm not as focused on winning championships as I am nurturing the branches of the learning tree. He then challenges Mark Briscoe to a ROH World Championship match. He says it's time, now that the Ocho is gone, to become the Nueve. Mark Briscoe comes out there. He says his dad taught him not to make excuses, but he did have Chris Jericho beat if it wasn't for Big Bill, who chokeslammed Briscoe through the table and you rolled your limp ass on top of me. I'm not going to make that excuse because it was a tornado tag and that choke slam was as legal as a wrist lock. He said he's gonna call. He's gonna call Chris Jericho what he is. He's gonna tell it like it is and call Chris Jericho what he is. For the last 4 years, you've been one of the most influential and finest professional wrestlers on the planet, and that works out good for me because you pinned me in New York City, and logically, you should be getting a world title shot, and I would love to put that notch on my belt. And being that the word of the day is consequential, now I get to put a legendary head on my wall when I beat you at Wrestle Dream. Jericho says, do you want to beat the legendary Chris Jericho? I don't think you could do it. You can't beat me, Mark. Maybe your brother Jay could, but everybody knows you'll never be as good as Jay was. Briscoe says, you want to go there? Get my brother's name out of your mouth, out of your damn mouth. At Wrestle Dream, you're going to get a Briscoe-style ass whooping. I accept your challenge, and that right there is consequential. Minus the hokey Chris Jericho shit, I actually like the turn that this took.
I really did, dude. Man, Mark Briscoe is fucking great. I mean,
Yes.
it really is. So I really liked his promo. I don't love how we're getting an ROH related match, at Wrestle Dream. I mean, he has the title, so there's that, man. But I would rather just them having a match, with, AEW implications. But either way, it was a good promo on Wednesday, so I'm intrigued.
Absolutely, bro. Absolutely. Yeah, I liked obviously the shot at Jay. I thought that was a good little thing to throw in there. I thought that was nice, and how I love how Mark Briscoe was his normal jovial self, until excuse me, until Jericho brought up Jay Briscoe. You just seen the whole demeanor in the room just changed, and he was as
Hmm.
serious as you can be. And I like that. I like that a lot. I thought that was a great aspect of it. I thought it was a great aspect, and obviously, he's going to be serious after, somebody mentioned his brother. But I thought this was great, and yeah, like Sir K said, man, I think Mark Briscoe is great, and uh yeah, so that was that as yeah. I'm sitting in the same boat as you, man. I'm not really excited to see Jericho on a pay-per-view as I'm not really excited to see the ROH World Title on a pay-per-view, but I'm excited to see Mark Briscoe on a pay per view, and I am excited to see. Yeah, I'm excited to see Mark Briscoe on a pay per view. I wish it would be for AEW stuff, but nonetheless, I am excited to see him on there. And yes, it does suck that we are getting a ROH title stuff on the show, and I believe we're also supposed to be getting like Atlantis Junior versus Brian Cage on the pre-show for the TV title. So who the fuck wants to see that? I have no idea, but yeah, so that is that.
No, yeah, that's that. Don't love the ROH stuff, man, but I'm very intrigued in this match after that promo.
Definitely. Definitely. It's a little bit more story than Will Ospreay and Ricochet had going into their stuff.
I'll tell you that.
Darby Allin. Darby says he's doing a at home, or a, in this case I guess, at junkyard promo. Darby says, when I was 19 years old, I used to ride this Metrobus from Kent Station to Seattle, just daydreaming. One night I was at the back of the bus and I felt something hit the back of my head. And I turned around and I saw these three guys laughing at me, and it dawned on me that they were taking turns spitting at the back of my head. And I turned around to mind my own business, but it was killing me inside that I wasn't doing anything about it. And I felt it again and again and again until I finally turned around and I got up in the guy's face and he said, "What are you going to do about it, you little bitch?" I noticed he was holding up a switchblade. I said, "Well, it looks like I'm getting stabbed tonight." So I lunged toward him, and it didn't take long for everybody on the bus to break up the fight, but it felt so good to actually do something about it. Weeks ago, when Moxley said I wasn't ready to be the face of AEW, all I could see was those three guys on the back of the bus. I wasn't just gonna lay down and do nothing. I would rather have gotten stabbed. You live by the sword and you die by the sword. I put everything on the line against Moxley, and I was fixated on proving him wrong that night. It was supposed to be me and Brian going on to Wrestle Dream. I keep saying I'm going to be the face of the company, and I feel like people are starting to give up on me. But the scary thing is, I feel like I'm starting to give up on myself. Or what else? Or what else I can do? But what else can I do except keep fighting? I'm going to be at the Tacoma Dome at Wrestle Dream. I'm putting out an open challenge to the locker room, and anybody who wants to build their name against Darby Allin, step right up because I have nothing left to lose as he starts banging a brick on the car. We talked about the production of the Jon Moxley promo earlier in the night. This was sort of a almost what seemed like a junkyard, or at least a some land with a bunch of, you know, junked cars on it. And Darby was sitting there. You could hear crickets in the background. It was a nice night visual, man. It was amazing. And I love the aesthetic of this. Um, as for the story, I don't know where Darby gets all these fucking stories from, bro, but every time he has a story to tell, it's the most interesting shit ever.
That man could have started a storytime YouTube channel, been just as successful, man, because that man just be telling crazy ass stories.
And I love, and similar to MJF too, but MJF and Darby are both like this. They always have some sort of backstory that correlates with what's going on
Hmm.
in their current feud right now. Like
Exactly.
like he tied this all back to Jon Moxley and how Jon Moxley was, you know, underestimating him. Basically thought of him how the guy on the back of the bus thought of him as a little bitch. You know, he
So he got at it and fucking took the challenge. I love that.
yes, dude, this was great. And what I really love is this is why I wasn't upset that Darby lost, because now we're telling the story of not only does he feel like people are giving up on him to be the face of the company, now he feels like he's giving up on himself. So now, instead of fighting as an underdog against Jon Moxley and fighting as an underdog to be the face of the company, now he's fighting as an underdog against himself. And I love that. I love that, and I think that's going to turn into a really great story here with Darby Allin as he does make his way towards the AEW championship, man. So I love that. It was a great aesthetic. It was a great story. It was a great tie-in, and Darby Allin is just one of those consistent guys on AEW Dynamite that's just never, in my eyes, never really done much wrong.
No, yeah, he really hasn't, man. He's been booked good. He can cut a promo, tell a story. It always intertwines with what he's doing, man. He's fucking phenomenal, man.
Absolutely. Adam Page. Adam Page, he defeated Juice Robinson here on this episode of Dynamite. He defeated Juice. He hit him with a low blow while the ref was not looking. He hit him with a buckshot. After the match, he goes to choke Juice Robinson with his belt, which then would garner the return of Switchblade Jay White. He brawls
Hmm.
with Page into the crowd, spears Page through a table, and that was the return of Switchblade Jay White. I loved seeing Switchblade back. I thought it was great to see Switchblade back. And it looks like both Paige and Swerve, for the time being, are moving on from each other.
I dig it. I like the little break, and I like the idea of Jay White versus Hangman. That sounds like a good plan.
Yep.
Hope there's a good story, intertwined between those two, man, and we'll see how it goes.
I hope so. I hope so. Yes. Adam Page. See, they did this match like a year ago on Dynamite, and it was on our year-end awards last year for being dream match over story. It was a
Mhm.
part of the letdown or the worst booking decision. It was one of the two. Um, and this is why you shouldn't do matches like that on Dynamite, because here you have an opportunity that could have presented itself as the first time ever in AEW, and you could have had a story behind it, but you already did the match last year, which again doesn't make me not want to see it, but you could have used that they could have used that for their own benefit as a, this is the first time it's happening, huge dream match, dream feud. Um, so, so yeah, man. I mean, but nonetheless, I'm excited to see Jay White do something. I'm excited to see him make his way over to Dynamite, and
Mhm.
I'm excited to see him feud with a guy as big as Hangman Page, man. So it's gonna be good, and it looks like he's working babyface now. So I'm excited for that, and hopefully they turn this into some good stuff, man. So yeah.
Definitely, man. I hope so. I hope everything, is planned out and goes well.
Shit Bada. He goes up to Jack Perry in the back. He plays his little Google Translate lady that says, "You and me, TNT title at Wrestle Dream." So,
Shabbat.
so, so this is how we get title matches now? I mean, where the fuck has this guy even been? Where is Shibata even been at?
How can you demand one of these? You ain't shit. You ain't doing shit. Do something. Maybe you could get one.
And this guy, Jack Perry, he says, "I'll have to think about it." Shibata turns around to talk to the interviewer, and Jack Perry attacks him, says he accepts, and walks away. Are you fucking serious? That this is how you get a TNT title shot. You don't even ask for it yourself. You fucking have Google Translate ask for it. This is what we're doing now in AEW. We're having Google Translate asking Jack Perry for a championship match at Wrestle Dream. What a joke.
God, it really is, man.
Yeah, who cares? Who cares? Who My God, man. I could tell you I could tell you a match that that I'm going to be probably nodding out for during Wrestle Dream. Um
Oh, yeah.
Shitbata versus Jack Perry. Who the fuck wants to see this? Why is this happening?
Like, dude, you guys are really not doing Jack Perry any fucking favors here.
No, they're not. Brian Danielson. He's cutting a promo on John Moxley in the back and talking about the 5 years of AEW. And yeah, that was that. It was a short and sweet promo. He basically just talked about, how he basically just talked about the match with him and Moxley, like I said, and then talked about AEW Dynamite being around for 5 years and how this has been the funnest time of his career.
Hmm. Hell yeah, dude.
Britt Baker versus Serena Deeb. We get the return of Britt Baker on Dynamite. She defeats Serena Deeb with a lockjaw, and Mariah May is sitting in the front row of the crowd, scouting Britt Baker. I
Tony,
can't make this up.
Tony Khan, I swear to God, I swear to God, if you kill Mariah May, which I mean you low-key already done with your, post-title win booking, but if you put the nail in the coffin with Britt Baker, I'm done, bro. I'm done.
Dude. Serena Deeb attacks Britt Baker after the match as Queen Aminata makes the save. This is what the fuck? I mean, is this a joke? Tony, are you fucking with me? This is what we're doing. And the best part is, I seen a post on Twitter today, and it was and it was it was this fan talking about a thread of matches we need to see in AEW, and there was a lot of them on there that I laughed at, and
Of course.
one of them was Mercedes versus Queen Aminata. And his reasoning was something along the lines of, due to the rise of Queen Aminata. Okay, way to turn me away when you start with
Like,
that. What rise?
bro, Tony Khan cooked these fans' brains so much, they think somebody being used in general is a rise. That's how fucking cooked their booking and their brains are.
Oh my god. What fucking business does Queen Aminata have out here on AEW Dynamite? What? What business does she have here on out here on Dynamite helping Britt Baker? And Mariah May, I believe they're doing a match next week. It's got like Britt Baker and somebody else, and the winner faces Mariah May for the women's world
Mm-hmm.
title. I can't remember who her opponent is. Why is Britt
It's
lost?
Will. I
Okay.
think it's Will. Yeah.
Britt lost at All In. We haven't seen her for an entire month. She comes back,
Mm-hmm.
wins a match, and is in contention to get a world title shot?
Dog, what? Talk about favoritism out the ass, bro. She's washed. She can't move. She's moving like 2017 Roman Reigns out there, bro. Like, dog, this shit is not okay.
Britt Baker uh, celebrates with Queen Aminata after the save as Britt is kind of limping on her way out. So we haven't heard anything about an injury surrounding her, so I hope everything's okay with her health-wise. But dude, Tony, what the fuck are we doing here, man? I mean, honestly, bro, what are we doing? Um, that was this whole situation is so ridiculously stupid, man, and that is three things on tonight's show: the Britt Baker and Mariah May, the Jack Perry and Shibata, and the what was the first? And the Takeshita being involved
Mm-hmm.
with the international title. None of these fucking things make any sense. None of these make any sense
No,
as to, and none of them correlate with as to what you've been showing us on Dynamite.
no. It just randomly goes left for no reason.
This fucking guy, man, he needs help. He needs serious
Yeah.
booking help. He needs somebody to oversee the logic behind his shows, man. He is trying to do way too fucking much, and these shows are suffering for it.
Fucking pure hell suffering.
Yeah. So it looks like either Britt Baker or Willow Nightingale will be facing Mariah May for the AEW World Title. And why Mariah May was even in the crowd here to tease this, I have no idea.
Literally.
Hook. Hook is in the back and he is upset because somebody apparently attacked Taz, and he says he's going to find who did this and he's coming for him. As to who did this, I have no idea.
No, literally, and the only reason they did that was because, he needed like knee surgery or something. Fucking Taz is such a goat. Bro can't just go have knee surgery. He has to be written off TV. I fucking love Taz. The man is hilarious.
He really is. He really is, bro. He really is. I did not know that. I did not know that. I did not know that. But yeah, who this could be, I'm not too sure. Maybe, I mean, we're around the time where Samoa Joe is supposed to be coming
Actually,
back.
so maybe he comes back, teams with Hook for a little bit, and then when Taz come back, he could be like, "Hey, dude, he was the one that attacked me," and he could start that feud from there. That's something they could do.
Yeah. So, um, so yeah, man, that was that. Christian Cage is doing a little promo in the back, just basically hyping up that he's the undisputed next AEW champion, as he is the face of TNT and TBS.
Mm.
So that was that. Mariah is in the back with Willow, and Willow comes up to her wanting a title shot. And then a brawl breaks out. And yeah. So that was that. Yeah, I mean, yeah, Willow saved Yuka Sakazaki, and it's well known backstage that those two are best friends. So yeah,
They are, yeah. There you go.
I
Sure.
guess that's why that's happening.
Good boy.
So Private Party versus Iron Savages. Um, Private Party came out to a new theme song,
It was ass.
and it sounded like, I listened to the full version of it on YouTube. That sounded like some 2017 classic 6ix9ine fucking garbage, is what that song sounded like. It is basically just a bunch of screaming of the same words, and why they did not keep shots that was over people, like,
It
and they
was
got rid of
so
their cool
clean.
entrance too.
Yeah, where he's got like the rope, the VIP rope, and he lets him through. Like,
And
bro,
he like backs
you're
up the
good.
cameraman. Ah,
It was a dope ass entrance. They had a great fucking theme song, really phenomenal theme song, and it just all gets scrapped for what? For them to never be used still. Doesn't fucking make sense, man. I feel so bad for these guys.
me too. Me too, bro. Um, they came out. Um, they came out, like I said, to their. They came out to their new theme song, and they came out. Do it again. Uh. They no. Now I can't
I
hear.
don't have any installed.
Oh, wait. Do it one more time. Yeah, I don't hear nothing when you do that. Tap your headphones.
There's nothing to tap. There's no mic installed. I took the mic out. I always do it before the podcast now.
That's weird. And it says you're connected to the pod mic?
Mm-hmm. That's the one I'm on.
Hmm.
What I'm at.
Sounds the same.
I don't know.
Same.
I don't know.
A little quieter.
I don't know.
Same.
Yeah, it's weird. I didn't touch anything on my mic.
Hmm.
Everything's the exact same from Friday.
So, yes, so they came out with a new theme song. And they came out with a new entrance, which, yes, they got rid of the shots. So that theme song is gone. And why they got rid of that, I have no idea. I thought that was very over with the crowd, and I thought it was a good song. But they came out also with this new entrance. So their cool private party, the cameraman walks up to the velvet belt, and the security guard opens it up, and then or backs the cameraman up, and then lets them walk through. That's all gone. Now they come out flexing. They come out doing this. This is what
It's
they do
literally
now.
like some,
What'd you say?
it's literally so generic and lame.
It is. Very. Very. So these guys beat the Iron Savages in a matter of minutes. Isaiah gets on the mic. He says Private Party will be the next AEW Tag Team Champions. Then they call out the Bucks. Nick says you can't have an anniversary show without the EVPs that started the company. Matt says there might be time because there is a substantial overrun. So they walk to the ring, and then Matt says, no, we have limited dates, and we're not going to waste it on a town like Pittsburgh. Jack Perry attack the rest of the Elite. They attack Private Party, and Shibata comes out for the save.
Good Lord.
Bro, so Shibata comes out to save Private Party. Christopher Daniels comes out there, and he makes a trios match for Rampage. Shibata and Private Party versus the Elite. As another logic gap, wasn't Private Party somewhat involved with the whole Jon Moxley storyline?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, there you are. Hold on.
How is that normal again?
Just lower yourself on your end.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Okay, how about now?
That's perfect.
What the fuck, dude? It's so weird.
What happened?
I went into video, the voice and video settings in Discord,
Mhm.
and just changed it, to, back and forth. And that screen instead of the normal screen, I guess it worked. I guess it's good now. Don't know what it was on before because it's literally the only mic I have connected.
Yeah, they literally just did that to me before we got on tonight too. It just changed my sound settings. That's why you were telling me
Yeah.
that it sounded like I was talking out of a tin can. I don't know why it just disconnected my Rode pod mic here, but this fucking Discord,
Weird.
it is.
Yeah.
Um, so that was that. Christopher Daniels comes out and in the most you know, in the most
Story.
authoritative way announces a trios match for Rampage.
Oh, dude, what did I realize how he talked? Oh, yeah. Dude, the reason why Christopher Daniels sucks in this position, it sounds like he's like trying with every word he
Yep.
says. He's like fighting it out. And it's like, dog, and it sounds like he's gonna cry. Like, bro, he is not cut out for an authoritative role, dude.
No. No.
That man is horrid in that spot. I'm
Yes.
sorry.
Yes, he is. MVP is in the back. He says he has an announcement, and there's no better place than the 5th year anniversary of Dynamite. Prince Nana comes up. He says MVP was talking spicy about him and Swerve. And you know, a lot of people here in AEW forgot something. A lot of people here in AEW forgot Prince Nana used to be a wrestler. And I will lace up these boots right here for MVP. MVP says, that sounds like a complaint. And I don't deal with complaints, but he does. So let me introduce you to my business partner and the president of our complaint department, Mr. Shelton Benjamin. Shelton Benjamin takes Nana's cup of coffee, drinks it, and he says, it's pretty good coffee. As he walks away. Obviously, this is cool to see Shelton in AEW. I know Max Caster's not happy, but it's cool to see
Had that beef with him.
Yeah. So it's nice to see Shelton in AEW. I don't know about the whole president of the complaint department. That I hope that's not a sort of nickname or something.
I just see that as a reference to, like, if he's got a problem, he's gonna like an enforcer type thing.
Gotcha. Yeah, I just hope they don't continue to ever refer to him as the president of the Hurt Syndicate's complaint department.
Oh, dude, we're gonna hear an Excalibur say that.
I know we are. So cool, very cool to see Shelton in AEW, man, and obviously we are all waiting the impending debut of the Almighty. And I'm excited for him. I'm scared for him in the same breath. I really hope AEW, I really hope Tony ends up taking a liking to Bobby Lashley because, oh God, please.
Dude, I really hope so, man. I hope he's just not used, at the start and then never used again. I really hope he's used consistently on Dynamite.
Because I'm already pissed off. We never got to see Bobby Lashley versus Jacob Fatu. So don't make this even worse.
You should have never said that, dude. Come on.
Yeah.
Damn. I hate you. Why you gotta say that to me, bro?
Hey, I thought the same shit myself, bro. God damn. Bobby Lashley. Well, we already seen Bobby versus Bronson. Man, but God. I don't know why Trips couldn't have just made the Hurt Business, bro.
Bobby versus Dragunov. Bobby versus Breaker. Like, dog.
They put him on a lame SmackDown roster, too.
He did.
There was nobody for him to face. They should have moved him to Raw. He could have faced Dragunov. He could have faced Sheamus. He could have faced Hurt Business and Wyatt Six. They could have done. They could have done a lot of stuff, man. Bobby and Gunther. I don't think we've seen Bobby and Gunther. Hurt Business and Judgment Day at the time. The Judgment Day was all together. That would have been nice. But no. So I'm just so scared for Bobby Lashley, but I'm so excited for him. So Bryan versus Okada. Well, this match went longer than 20 minutes, So the Continental
Yeah.
title was not on the line any longer. Okada was getting ready to do his finishes. Pac and Claudio were distracting from the ringside area. Okada got distracted. Bryan hit Okada with a backslide and beat him. He beat him. So we seen Bryan and Okada on this episode of AEW Dynamite for absolutely no reason. And it was a good match. It was just, I mean, what isn't a good match on AEW? I mean, that's about as guaranteed as death and taxes, bro. I mean, it was a good match. Of course, it was a good match. But at the end of the day, why did this even happen in the first place?
You could have saved it for the future. That's a massive named match that you could have saved for the future in the story.
It is. It is. So Okada hit a Rainmaker on Danielson and flips off Claudio and Pac, and he walks away. As Bryan's laying there incapacitated, Claudio and Pac help him up, but he doesn't realize it's them because he's incapacitated. Once he gains back consciousness, Moxley's in the ring, and Bryan realizes who helped him up, and he's trying to squirm his way away. Moxley says to Bryan, he says, "You think this is about me? Let's get something through your simple blueberry picking little brain. None of this is about me. None of this is what I wanted. I'm fighting for something much bigger than myself. Everything I'm going to do is because I have to, because nobody else will. Nobody else can. And if any of this was about me, I would have put you out of your misery years ago." Yuta comes for the save. He's conflicted on hitting Jon Moxley with the hammer that he brought out to the ring. And as he is conflicted, Bryan attacks Moxley and a brawl breaks out. With Moxley's group and Bryan and Yuta. Bryan and Yuta are in the ring. Wheeler says, "I'm tired of you treating me like I'm a child. I am my own man." He says, "I'm my own man. I can make my own decisions. I can fight my own fights." And speaking of fights, next week, Title Tuesday. If you want to get to Danielson, you got to go through me. Danielson then gets on the mic and proposes Danielson and Yuta versus Claudio and Pac. Interesting. This is this interesting little tag match for next week. Why do I feel like they're teetering on having Yuta turn on Danielson?
I feel like they might, to be honest, at this point. I feel like he's going to turn his back on him.
Yeah, I don't know why I'm feeling that way. I don't know. It's just the vibe I get from those two standing in the ring together. It's I don't know. I feel like they might pull the trigger on that. And that should be interesting to see.
Yeah.
Quite honestly, when Danielson goes away, I would rather them just keep Yuta as like a singles babyface and see what he can do. But if they do want to put him with this Jon Moxley faction, then I mean I'll be willing to see where it goes.
Definitely. Either way, I think I'm intrigued to see where it goes. So I'm down for either of those paths, man. But it's really interesting what Mox was talking about, man. How, he's doing it for a reason. And he wish he didn't have to. And he's doing it for somebody, man. And who could he be doing it for?
You know what scares me, and it's because, basically to a mainstream professional wrestling audience, this guy is, I don't want to say he's an unknown, but not too many people know about this guy. Claudio posted something on Instagram, and it was a video. It was a video of him fighting Josh Barnett, the guy that does the blood sport. And he
Mm.
talked about how that was the, I'll have to look real quick on Claudio's Instagram. I know he posted it sometime last week. Let me see. Um okay. 6 days ago, he posted a clip of last year's Wrestle Dream, and he puts taking on the War Master almost a year before the current crusade. And it's him
Hmm.
fighting Josh Barnett on the pre-show to last year's Wrestle Dream.
Could be him. I wouldn't be shocked. I wouldn't be opposed at the end of the day.
Yeah, I'd be willing to see how that goes, but um
It wouldn't be as big, obviously, as like a Shane. But I think it wouldn't be bad either.
yeah, I mean there is, I mean it does have the chance to, to be good. It does.
Hmm.
It does have the chance to be good, but overall, man, I mean, how many people really know who Josh Barnett is? Completely, unless I'm completely mistaken, and this dude's like some huge name. But, um,
Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see.
oh, okay, he was a MMA fighter turned professional wrestler.
And
Um,
active partition. At Josh Barnett. Hmm. The War Master. It's a pretty dope name. He's currently signed to Bellator.
hmm, interesting. So yeah, I
I feel
mean,
like he might be bigger in like the MMA community.
yeah, I was just gonna say that if he is big, then I'm assuming it would have had to be in the MMA community, because I personally have never heard of Josh Barnett until like we started hearing about the whole blood sport thing. But I could, John Moxley always talks about how this is war. He always talks about
Hmm.
how he declares war, and I don't know if this could inevitably lead to the debut of Josh Barnett. So again, if he is big in the realm of the wrestling world, it's not known to me. It seems like he could be a much bigger name in the MMA world. Um, but it should be interesting. It should be interesting. Like I said, I'm not too sure how I feel about it, but obviously I'm going to be willing to give it a chance because this John Moxley group has been very good. It's been very good, and so I'd be excited to see where it goes and see what they do with that. But yeah, it's interesting. It's very interesting to see what's going to happen with that. But yeah, so that's that, man, and that was your AEW 5 year anniversary for Dynamite. As yeah, the show
Is
overall was very lackluster.
where is Wrestle Dream taking place again?
Tacoma, Washington.
He's from Washington too. He's from Seattle, Washington.
Hmm.
So I think it might be him. You know what? I don't know much about him. Obviously, like you said, I'm kind of in that same boat of wonder how it'll go, but I'm intrigued and I'm down to see how that goes.
Definitely. Definitely. Yeah, I know GCW does the whole blood sport thing that's, named after him. So again, I
Hmm.
don't know much about him, and I don't really know how that's going to go. But in saying that, I will say, I am going to keep an open mind, and I am going to go into it with an open mind. Like I said, this John Moxley faction has gave me has gave me every reason to give it a chance because this group has been great. So like I said, even though I personally don't know how well that will go over, I'll still be willing to give it a chance. I'll be willing to give anything a chance, bro. But I'm
Yeah,
excited. I'm excited to see where it goes, man. Even though, like I said, even though I don't really know Josh Barnett all that well, if like I said, the group has been amazing. The group has been amazing. So I hope Tony's able
definitely.
to book it right, and I hope that everything's able to go well.
Definitely, I hope so. As long they keep, the vibe and the quality of what they've been doing now after, said thing happens, I'll definitely be intrigued, man. So hope everything goes well with this.
Definitely. That was your Dynamite 5 year anniversary show. Very lackluster show.
Yep.
Very, you know,
Lame.
yeah. The difference between Dynamite 5 year anniversary and the very first Dynamite, man, it almost makes you sick. How fresh, how exciting, how captivating the show was, how it just was just so it was new, it was a breath of fresh air. It was amazing. The product made sense and everything went hand in hand with each other, and here we are 5 years later as it's a shell of its former self, and obviously 5 years later the logic gaps, the how just bad this show was. I wasn't a fan of it overall, man, and obviously I want to see
No,
AEW get back to that point. But yeah, man, it was just a lot of logic gaps, and there was obviously some good on the show, but a lot of it got buried on top of things where I'm just sitting there questioning, what the fuck is this? What are they doing here?
exactly, man. Exactly. For a 5 year anniversary episode, it felt like a normal lackluster dynamite, and normal dynamite shouldn't feel like that, let alone a special edition.
Yeah. Monday Night Raw. This episode of Raw took place from St. Louis, Missouri, as NXT will be taking place there tomorrow. This is the first 2 hour episode of Raw since 2012.
Dang.
Now, I'm not going to lie to you guys, man. The show itself, I had it was very cool. There was a lot of questions for me during the show. I didn't understand a lot of things. I hear a lot of people complaining about the commercials and the ads. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, bro, and this is probably just me being accustomed to this as a wrestling fan. I honestly didn't even notice it. And
Mm,
that's probably a bad thing because I'm just so used to seeing just
just a
just commercials caked on top of commercials on top of commercials on top of commercials. I didn't even notice it, to be honest. And yeah, again, that probably is a bad thing because that probably goes to show how accustomed we are to our weekly wrestling programming just being flooded with ads. So, yeah, so that's that. As for the
Mhm.
show itself, man, like I said, I had a lot of questions, and we're gonna get into it, man. But overall, I thought the show was okay. It definitely could have been a lot better for a 5 year, or the what am I talking about? Talking about Dynamite. It definitely could have been a lot better for the first 2 hour episode of Monday Night Raw, and um, I think there's a groove they need to get into when it comes to being at 2 hours again. And obviously last night I do have a couple notes here about just the production of the whole show and stuff like that, and we'll get into it. But I think it's something WWE is going to get more used to.
I think so. A lot of people were complaining about the production and the ads and the pacing and whatnot. And I'm like, dude, it's not going to be perfect off rip. I mean, Come on, it's a completely different change in format and change the way to book the show. It's literally going from night to day for Triple H and his team and the production and all that shit. So it's not going to be the easiest turnover. So obviously, people thought it was a little rocky. No matter what it's going to be, and I trust Triple H and I trust WWE to smoothen things out, smoothen production and flow of a 2 hour show out. People are always, oh, I want 3 hour Raw back already. Motherfucker, give it a chance. It's not gonna be fucking perfect and goated first week, first rip. Come on, people.
You know, we've sat here for so many Mondays, and I would have never imagined hearing you say, I trust WWE. We've
Yeah,
sat here for so
and
many Mondays where you are just so done with this company. Um,
out completely. And now look at me. I'm actually trusting the process with a lot of things. I'm
yep.
trusting the process with decisions they made on Saturday. I'm trusting the process with Raw on Monday. Look at me, man. Look at me. Look at what a good product, what an overall good product will do to you. Even when you have your L's, you look past it and you look towards the future. Used to do that with Dynamite. Don't do that no more.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Sexy Red
Mm.
opens the show. She welcomes everyone to Monday Night Raw.
Maybe Triple H and his Diva era, but you said that last night, bro, or Saturday. But
Dude,
dog, this
it
man
really
got
is.
Cardi B, he got Megan Thee Stallion, and he's got Sexy Red. All they're missing is our buddy's favorite next. They got to put Glorilla on the show,
Oh
and
my God.
the Mount Rushmore is done. Our buddy will love that. He'll be marking out.
He would. He would. The show actually opens up with CM Punk, a beaten Phillip Brooks, comes to the stage. He's limping. He's got a wrist brace. He's got taped up elbows. He's got bandages on his cheek. He's got bandages on his forehead. He's got bandages looking straight out of Brawl Out. Comes CM Punk to the stage. And he comes to the stage and he says, "Is it good to not be dead in St. Louis on a Monday night or what?" He says he's in no condition to be he's in no condition to be here. So allow him to address us from right here, which was at the top of the stage. He's in no condition to be here, so allow me to address you guys from right here. He says it hurts to smile, but I'm alive. I don't feel it, but I'm a winner. He says I'm alive, but I don't feel like it. I'm a winner, but it doesn't feel like I won. He says, I want to come here and say it felt great to slam the door behind me after walking out of hell. But the way the match Saturday made him feel would leave anyone with a lot of questions. He says he doesn't know what the future holds for CM Punk. I told you all I had 0 Hell in a Cell matches left in me, and I was right. I'm banged up worse than I've ever been banged up in my entire life. As much as I love you all too, I just don't know. He says he wants to thank 3 groups of people. The first ones are his fans, the diehard ones who chanted my name for 7 years and then waited another 3 years for me to come home. Oh, I know they were pissed. I haven't even checked Twitter, but I know they're fuming.
Oh, great.
The second is my peers. In front and behind the camera, I'm privileged to walk the hallways with this group. And the third group is the people that don't like me. The people that don't like me at all, because there's a thin line between love and hate. And I have turned their hate into cash. And for whatever reason, if you don't like me, I don't know why you keep doubting me, but keep doubting me. I'm going to go home and see my wife. I have a lot of flowers to buy, and I would say I'll see you all soon, but I just don't know.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
so obviously, pretty dramatic approach here by CM Punk, but I get what they're doing. Obviously, they're trying to just sell the structure. They're trying to sell everything Punk went through. They're, like I said, they're selling it. You know what I mean? They're selling. They're trying to regain back that the structure is something that it's going to take, that they obviously like to promote this as something that will take years off of your life, and obviously they're just selling that here. Obviously we all know Punk is headed for Gunther at Survivor Series, but so other than this, man, I like the promo. I didn't really like, I although I didn't really like, the whole, like, I don't know what's next, basically, I don't know, putting it in people's minds that, you're going to be done wrestling. I mean, we all know that's not the case. I would have much rather had him come out there on the approach of, I don't know how long it's going to take for me to get better, because I'm more banged up than I ever been, but you will see me soon. And I don't know when, but you will. And I'm assuming we don't see CM Punk until after this stupid Crown Jewel tournament. And also, this is probably a way to get CM Punk not to appear on Crown Jewel, because he don't want to go to Saudi.
No, exactly. He's against, all that. So there's that, man. I think actually it ended up being perfect. The placement of Crown Jewel and Hell in a Cell for Punk at least. Obviously, there's going to be he's selling the match, obviously, but also he don't. It was obvious he wasn't going to work Crown Jewel anyway. So I think it worked out in both their cases.
Definitely. Actually, when even is Crown Jewel? November 2nd. Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
So, Seth comes out for a promo as CM Punk is walking away, and he stares at CM Punk. They have a stare down for a second as Rollins shoulder checks past CM Punk, as yeah, that. Rollins comes out for his promo. He says well wishes to CM Punk and Drew McIntyre on their match, and I think we should all wish CM Punk to get well soon, because the sooner he gets back, the sooner I can kick his ass and retire him for good. He runs around the ring laughing. He says he's been gone a couple of months and things are getting crazy around here. He says The Rock is back. Cody is teaming with Roman Reigns and getting punched in the mouth by Kevin Owens, but I guess we can't talk about that. He says he's here to destroy Bronson Reed. He tells Bronson, listen to me very closely. He says, 2 months ago, you tried to end my career for what? Trying to make a name for yourself? Congratulations, 6 tsunamis later, and I know your damn name. If you wanted to get famous, big boy, I'll give you your 15 minutes. So Seth versus Bronson Reed, you name the place, you name the time. But you name the time, you name the place. This time I'll be expecting you. Great promo. Bronson was not on the show tonight for whatever reason. Bronson was not on the show tonight, so obviously the show missed his presence big time, but obviously he can't be there every week. This is one thing that's already one thing I like about the 2 hour, program, was we didn't see a guy like Bronson Reed for a week, and it's okay.
Yeah, okay.
Um,
Yeah, I hate how we have to reiterate that all the time, but it's okay to not see somebody every week. It's okay for them to miss a show or skip a show. It's okay, and it adds more intrigue to when we see him again next.
yep.
So definitely okay with that. And Rollins' promo was great. Loved his reference. Still confused by the KO and Cody line, especially because they kind of did that later in the night too, where they mentioned it for a second, but then they didn't, and I was like, why? guess we'll see Friday, but I really don't know what they're going on with this, man. But very great promo by Seth nonetheless.
Yeah, absolutely. Building to the inevitable match with Bronson Reed, which I like, obviously, and I'm excited to see what those guys do. Jay then comes out as soon as Seth gets done with the promo. Jay comes out, he's running up there, he's doing his yeet thing. Seth's in the ring and he looks annoyed. This part of pacing I didn't like, only because Rollins just did it to Punk. Rollins came out immediately after to not waste any time with Punk's promo. Now Jay's doing it to him, and Seth looks annoyed at Jay. I don't really understand why. You know, why? The last time I checked, I thought these two were cool with each other. I mean, they teamed in War Games together last year. So I thought these guys were cool with each other. So I don't know what was the point of having Seth look annoyed at Jey Uso. And for that, I thought the pacing was a little odd. Or I thought it might have been a little too much back to back to back. I think a back to back works, but a back to back to back, I thought everything just was feeling a little bit too rushed. And we were only like 20 minutes into the show, so I'm obviously cool with them doing that, but not in just segments like this, especially too, you know, why Rollins was, you know, looking at Jey Uso like that, as if, you know, as if Jay was coming out to confront him or something. So I didn't like that much at all. I thought that was a little too quick. But yeah, so that was that. Um,
Definitely.
and yeah,
Yeah, definitely weird with the pacing there. It was very dynamite-y, or that era of Dynamite, that like that pacing was off the fucking charts. They got a little better with it now, but I remember that era of Dynamite where it was just segment, match, match. Like, dude, it was non-stop, no breather. That's kind of what it felt like, and I don't like that. I like the breath. Even in a 2-hour span, you could still give us some time to breathe.
yeah, we get Jey Uso versus Xavier Woods. Xavier Woods had a lot of offense during this match. It seemed like he was in control and on his way to winning the IC championship. Jey Uso, towards the end, picked up his momentum, hit all his comebacks, bro, and he beat Xavier Woods clean with a splash. He beat Woods clean. Woods was pissed, and as he was getting up, Kofi was helping his boy up. Jay shakes up with Kofi. He goes to shake Woods' hand, and Woods walks away. Woods walks away from him. He walks away as Kofi's asking him, "Yo, what's up? What's wrong?" And Woods is telling him, "Yeah, congratulations. He won. He won. Let's go." So obviously he's very upset that he didn't win the IC title. As Jay gets off from the second rope from celebrating, he turns around to a thunderous spear from Braun Breaker. Woods is telling Kofi, no, let's go. Let's go. Kofi doesn't listen. He runs in the ring to help Jay. He goes for the Trouble in Paradise, misses. Braun spears Kofi. Woods pulls Kofi out of the ring, and as he's trying to help him, telling him, I told you not to go in there, Braun gets on the outside of the ring and runs around the ring and spears Xavier Woods he spears Xavier Woods all the way around the ring just for being involved. So obviously, Kofi's going to be upset about that, or Woods is going to be upset about that, because Kofi's the whole reason they stayed out there. And Braun runs back into the ring, spears Jey Uso again as he holds up the IC title. So this I did not understand at all. You teased to us last week and basically showed us that Braun was going to be moving in a babyface direction. And then you had him come out there, shake Jey Uso's hand, and tell him that he respects him and all this stuff, and he's just back into the picture again.
It's like, what are you, what are you doing here? What's the direction? You basically showed him shedding, the IC title in that scene and looking to move his way up, and then you just completely revert everything you did. Like, why?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, again, I took that as that Braun was going to start going towards moving up on the card, and possibly having some feuds with some main event type guys. Not maybe for the world title yet, but now he's just back doing this stuff with Jey Uso. So I didn't understand that at all, and I really thought that again this deviated away from what they did last week with Braun Breaker. Having nice things to say to Jey Uso. Now he's just out here again spearing him this week, and I didn't understand that at all. And I really hope WWE gives us an explanation on that, which I'm sure they will. But as for this week, man, it didn't make all that much sense. Um, Rhea
Mm-hmm.
Ripley, she did a little backstage promo, talking about how Liv delayed the inevitable, and now she is just going to have to go through her and Raquel. So that was that. That is all we've seen from Rhea Ripley on this episode. We did not see Damian Priest either, or Finn Balor. So yeah. So this was a nice little promo from Rhea Ripley. As yeah, that was that. Just yeah, something
Yeah,
slight for the weekend to progress the continuation of their story.
definitely, man. A nice little progression there, right? And we'll definitely see how it goes in the future.
We get another vignette. This time it said nothing. It just popped up the letters, the Nordic letters that translates to war. So, obviously, these guys are going to be returning to WWE soon. It's just a matter of when. And I am so excited, and I'm going to be keeping a close eye on when we see the War Raiders make their way back to WWE television, man. And I'm pumped for it.
Yeah, dude, I can't fucking wait. You guys know how excited we are for them, and I just can't wait for these guys.
Yep. Braun is walking backstage. He's walking through the backstage area. He's pretty pissed off. Jackie tries to get a word with him as to why he did what he did, and he just walks off. So I guess we're going to have to wait till a couple more weeks. I will say, I do like, overall, I do like them putting Braun back in the whole IC title picture rather than the rumor I was hearing, and that was that Dominic was going to be the one to defeat Jey Uso for the IC title. I did not like that at all. And
No,
overall, I do, I mean, I guess, I guess, with Seth coming back, obviously that eliminates Bronson from going for the IC title for a little while because of Seth being back. He's obviously going to have to feud with Seth. But with Braun, that's why I was excited to see Braun move up, is so Bronson could enter the IC title picture. But now that Seth is back, I mean, overall, it does. I am fine with seeing Braun back and to see Braun get the IC title again. But I just wish they wouldn't have done what they did last week with him. Just shaking Jey Uso's hand and basically turning babyface. Just for them to go right back on it. I didn't like that at all. And
no,
yeah, it's not.
definitely, man.
Yeah, it's not even so much that I dislike him going for the IC title again. That's actually what I expected. I just expect WWE to make sense out of it. And in this case scenario, they didn't really do a good job at that. But again, not to say I'm not excited to see him go for the title again. That's actually what I would have done, preferably, being that Bronson is tied up. But yeah, I just wish they would have made a hell of a lot more sense out of it than they did here.
Definitely, man. I would like them to stay consistent, keep a path, and keep with it.
Definitely. Uh, The Miz is backstage. He's talking to Karrion Cross. He's telling him, he he's talking to him about how he wants to be remembered in WWE. Truth walks up and he tells Miz, "Look, man, I know why you attacked me last week, but dude, I'm telling you, I'm not in the Judgment Day no more." He says, so, you know, I forgive you. I forgive you, man, and I know a way to fix this. I'm going to talk to Adam Pearce and get you a match. Karrion Cross tells Miz, you need to say something before it gets ruined forever, or something like that. And Miz snaps on Truth, and he says, no, it wasn't an accident what I did last week. Awesome Truth is done. We're done. And this is part of the problem. You getting me in matches. So you know what? I'm going to talk to Adam Pearce to get you a match. You versus me. Next week on Monday Night Raw. And he says he's going to get him a match. So he says Miz is going to get himself a match with R-Truth next week. I've seen a lot of people upset about this. They were like, a 2-hour show and you're putting shit like this on the show. Would you rather them not tie up this awesome
Mhm.
Truth story? Would you rather them just drop it?
Like, one thing that these fans aren't understanding about the 2-hour format that I actually love, it leaves you wanting more. Yeah, you put this on the show so you can't put other things on the show. So those other things can be next week and the week
Yep.
after, so you watch the next week and the week after. That's literally the whole point of television, is you wanting to watch next week. Why are you mad at that? I don't understand. It's not like they're fucking completely skimming out on you. It's not like it's a fucking Disney Plus show where it's fucking not giving you anything ever. You still got your normal shit. It's just leaving more for next week. That's good.
And two, man, these are the same fans that say, how did Keith Lee and Swerve never get their singles match? They should have had a finish to their story. Oh, how did they split up? How did they split up John Morrison and The Miz, and then they fired John Morrison? They didn't even give him a match versus The Miz. But here, people are complaining that Miz and Truth are in a match. So would you rather have them take that route and just never give us any sort of end to this? Would you rather Miz just turn and then they go on like they didn't even know each other? No. That's not what we do here. Here in this regime of WWE, they actually more times than not try to make sense out of what they're doing. And I don't see a problem with this being on the show at all. It ties up a story that
You're
has been told over the course of what, 6, 7 months through the year.
no, exactly. So it's needed. It's how you do things, man. Don't understand that fan, perspective of that.
Sheamus and Pete Dunne, they have the good old fashioned Donnybrook match. This was awesome. This was awesome,
Hmm.
man. This was a great match. This was just chaos. I mean, the first Donnybrook match was very good. The one with Imperium versus Brawling Brutes, I thought was a very good match. And this one was great as well. It was nice. It was fun action. It was good action, and the crowd was into it. And yeah, it was just Sheamus being Sheamus. It was just Sheamus being Sheamus, bro. A lot of the stuff looked like it hurt. There was blood. Sheamus started bleeding from his elbow. And it was good. It was good. I enjoyed this. I enjoyed this very much. Yeah, I liked it, man. It was they were using it was very hard hitting. I mean, these guys, when you get in a ring with Sheamus, bro, just be prepared to slug it out with him, because that man does not play. And that man does not play, bro. And yeah, I mean, they were using their cricket bats, shillelaghs, they were using the bar little area, they were using the stools, they were using the drawers from one of the bar from the bar. Pete Dunne pulled out one of the drawers and was smacking Sheamus in the back with it, which looked just like it hurt. There was a white noise off the top of a bunch of barrels onto some tables. That was a very, very good spot. And yeah, that was the drawer that Pete Dunne pulled out actually had some zip ties in it. He zip tied Sheamus's hands behind his back. And he was so pissed off. He's beating him with the cricket bat, and he's so pissed off. He's saying, "My name's Pete Dunne. My name is Pete Dunne." Sheamus ends up hitting him with a bicycle knee and a brogue kick while his hands are tied behind his back, and he beats Pete Dunne.
Hell yeah.
So
Definitely.
that was that. As far as Pete Dunne,
Wonder what's next, dude.
I really wonder what's next. They turned out a really good match, bro, but getting beat by the guy that had his hands tied behind his fucking back is pretty embarrassing. And that I don't really know how they're gonna move on with Pete Dunne. I don't know how he's going to be able to recover from this, and I hope he's able to, bro, but that's that was quite the loss. I can't lie to you, bro. That was quite the loss. It was a very good match, don't get me wrong, but man, like I said, bro, losing to the guy with losing to the guy that had his hands tied behind his back, man. That's quite the hole to come out of for a guy who hasn't even gotten over on the main roster yet. So in that sense, I'm a little scared for Pete Dunne, and I really hope he's able to recover from this because I know the guy's got potential. But yeah, they turned out a good match. I just don't know about that ending all that much. And like I said, it was a very good match. I enjoyed it. I was very entertained. But man, I mean, yeah, I mean, just seeing him lose to Sheamus with his hands tied behind his back was quite the quite the head scratcher, if I'm being honest with you guys, man. So I really hope Pete Dunne is able to recover from this and hopefully one day end up getting over on the main roster. And yeah, I really hope that's able to happen, man, because he's got a world of potential if he does.
Definitely, man. I don't know. I think it was Friday I might have mentioned it. I know I mentioned it recently. It might have been last Monday
Mm-hmm.
about, Triple H not really using a lot of those, old NXT guys to a standard I thought they would. And I think this, Pete Dunne stuff is another example where he uses them, but he doesn't like use them,
Yeah.
if that makes sense. It's really weird to see that. I hope he is able to recover because that's a very bad loss. Very good match,
Mm-hmm.
Dooney Brook, they beat each other's Doonies.
They
So,
did.
it was a good match. It was a really good match, but that ending, man, it's going to be real tough to recover from that one.
Yes. Sami Zayn sees Cody Rhodes walking backstage. He says, "Hey, Cody, I just wanted to let you know. I know you're here to for Gunther, but I just want you to know I plan on being the one to face you at Crown Jewel Champion versus Champion." Cody says, "If I'm being honest, Sammy, I hope so too." So Cody hopes to face Sammy as well. I've seen a lot of people like legitimately wanting Sami Zayn to win the world title tonight because of the whole story with Kevin and Sammy. But bro, you want Sami Zayn's big first world title reign to come on the October 7th edition of Monday Night Raw? Are you out of your fucking mind?
Random episode of Raw. What, just to help feud for Cody for a show he's not on himself? What do you do with Sammy after that? Do you got a plan? No. It's just like, what are you doing here?
that just makes another world championship another championship we have to get off another guy before War Games.
Literally. Like, no. Have patience.
Yeah, I did not understand that at all. People were legitimately like, "Oh, it's gonna be great." Like, dude,
What did I see?
You know Sammy's gonna be mixing it up with the Bloodline, bro. And if you think Cody teaming with the Bloodline pissed Kevin Owens off, what the fuck do you think's gonna happen when Sami Zayn teams with the Bloodline? That's
Like,
probably
that,
really gonna piss Kevin Owens off.
oh, you fucking know it, dude. And it's like, what do you. I saw this one fan, their tweet, their prediction for tonight was that Gunther was going to get costed by Goldberg, and they were freaking for sure about it. I was like, dog, be fucking for real.
Gunther, oh brother. If I seen that, it
That,
if
that
I,
would have lost all
it
bets right there.
if that happened, Unscripted probably would have been canceled for the night.
Oh
Bro,
yeah, I had
if
that.
Goldberg cost Gunther the world championship, I would seriously be convinced that Vince McMahon was back into power because
Oh
there's no way I would believe in my heart of hearts that Triple H would have the amount of stupidity to do that. Um,
God,
brother. God, I'm happy that was not put into my head before this show. Um, God, that is where do these fucking
ooh,
people come up with this shit? Um,
or full ass brains.
I mean, don't get me wrong. That absolutely sounds like something Vince would do. It absolutely
Oh
does.
yeah,
But if Triple H did something like that, I would have lost all hope right there. Um,
yeah, I would have already. Literally tonight we were just talking about me actually having hope. I would have lost all hope right there.
man. Um, so Sammy then, Sammy then says, "Hey, and also too, man, I seen what happened, and if you wanted to talk about it, man, I'm more than willing to. I've known him for a lot of years." And Cody said, "No, it's okay. I'm going to figure that out Friday. I'm just here tonight to see what's up with Gunther or to see what's up with the Crown Jewel title." So Sammy extended the olive branch to talk about Kevin Owens and talk about what happened with KO. Cody denied. Cody denied it. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens on Friday. And the more like the follow-up behind this, how WWE's trying to like keep this under wraps and the talent aren't able to talk about it. It's actually very creative. The more
I like
it moves on. And I actually like that they moved on, or I actually like that they moved with just something taking off on social media that nobody
it.
really expected. Nobody expected, and now even the company's trying to keep it under wraps, and they're trying to make sure nobody sees it and stuff. So, yeah, I
Good
like
work.
it. I like it. It is a very good
Exactly.
work.
I like what they're doing here. I like the vibe that, they have about, the event that happened and took place between those two. Like they're trying to, like you said, cover it up in a way and like not. I like it. I dig it.
Yeah, very, very, very creative. Like I said, I don't know how you don't film it, but I like the way I like the route they're taking.
Hmm.
But honestly, what I would like to see from it is I would like to see Kevin maybe apologize because he was a bit hot-headed in the moment, but then have him fully snap when Sammy teams with the Bloodline and have it be like, I'm not in just the spur of the moment anymore. Like I'm like dead fucking serious. Like I'm tired of this shit. I would like to see maybe something like that. But otherwise, man, I'm very interested to see how they go along with it. I also forgot to mention during that Miz promo, there was Wyatt Six teases when we were
Bro.
watching Miz and Karrion Cross talk. Either one of those are bad ideas. Final
Yeah.
Testament versus Wyatt
Or
Six. That sounds like the most one-sided feud I've ever heard of. And
oh, dude, that's like
secondly,
fucking
The
uh
Miz, bro.
the Miz. What? What is that? What the fuck is the Miz gonna fight back with? His hopes and dreams? Like what the fuck?
I
Get the
don't
fuck
know.
out of here.
Both of those sound horrible, and I don't know how I feel about that, but yeah,
Yeah.
should be worth mentioning. So, Jackie Redmond is in the parking garage, trying to get a word with Raquel, Liv, and Dominic. She tries to get a word with them on Raquel. She's trying to ask Raquel, "Are you in the Judgment Day? What is going on here? What happened? How did this come to be?" Liv just said, I think it's about time for us to go. They got out of the car, talked to Jackie for about 30 seconds, got back in the car, and just drove away.
Just ditching the show.
So, yeah, that was that. I definitely thought if there was a night to do much of anything, it would be at least introducing Raquel back to the audience, being that she got no fucking reaction at Bad Blood. So what do? Let's just keep her off television more and just have her in a minute-long segment to make people not care even more. So
Literally.
yeah, I don't know what the thought process behind that one was, but yeah, I don't know. That was that was something, man. That was something I didn't really You might as well have just kept them off the show entirely. I mean, that was completely
Yeah,
useless.
that would have been a better look at that point. People obviously don't care about Raquel, so you got to make them care, and you didn't do that at all.
Not in the slightest. Ava and Adam Pearce are in the back, just chatting it up. Ethan Page walks in to Adam Pearce's office. He tries talking to Adam Pearce about getting him on Raw. He says, you have a guy over here who costed me the NXT Championship, CM Punk, and I was just wondering if, you can get that handled, and then maybe me and you could sort some things out. Adam says, hey, I did not appoint CM Punk the official to that match, but she did. And Ava tells him, yeah, it was me. I'm your boss. I'm still your boss. And I can't believe you came all this way just to complain to me, because this is none of his business. Sexy Red walks in. She says hello to Ava. She says hello to Adam Pearce. And she goes to shake Ethan Page's hand and says, oh, you're the dude that got his ass whooped by Trick. This obviously pissed off Ethan Page, and he walked away, and that was that. So we got an Ethan Page cameo, man. Could they be possibly bringing him up already? Maybe, man.
I would like the idea of that. I would definitely prefer
I
SmackDown,
was just
the
gonna say
place
that.
desperately need of heels like Ethan Page. So
Yep.
don't know why you're looking at Raw when you got all these up and coming people on Raw that you can't do at the same time. Bronson Reed, Dragunov, which that's been halted temporarily, but you got to think about when Dragunov comes back. So I would definitely more or less put him on SmackDown, but I like the tease nonetheless.
Listen to this, bro. Ethan
Mm-hmm.
Page in a feud with LA Knight.
There's money, dog.
Bro,
There's heat. I like
that would be nuts. Even Ethan Page obviously there's no time for it, but even like Ethan Page, if you ever wanted to do like a small little mini feud with Cody, obviously I
That'd
think,
be good.
that, they don't really got time for that at this point. I think Cody's going to start becoming more busy as we get into Mania season, but even that sounds great. But yeah, dude, Ethan Page and LA Knight feuding over the United States Championship, that sounds incredible. That sounds
And
amazing.
he could have, he could have something a little with Carmelo Hayes due to his past with Trick. You could do something there. Like you
Mhm.
have things you could do on SmackDown with them. Put fucking anybody on fucking SmackDown.
Yep. Absolutely, bro. Absolutely. Yeah. So we're starting to see Ethan Page cameos on the show, as it seems very interesting, as WWE could be possibly looking to get this man on the main roster already, which would be very, very interesting. Um, Natalia, Kaden Carter, Katana Chance, Zelina Vega, and Lyra Valkyria defeated the Unholy Union and the Pure Fusion Collection. I know what you're going to say, and I know Triple H, and I know why Triple H did this. You're going to say, why the fuck was this on the show? Because I thought the same thing. The only reason this was on the show is because there was only 2 other women's segments on the show, and both of them were about a minute long each. And yes, and they would have had a meltdown if there wasn't at least one women's match on the card. That's why this happened, and yeah, that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, so not much, you'd could have picked anybody better, but I guess they picked this, so it's a match to not have Twitter not complain.
Yeah, so I immediately said the same thing. I said, why the fuck is Natalya, Kaden Carter, Katana Chance, Zelina Vega, and Lyra Valkyria all coming out? And then I said to myself, you know what? The only other women's segment we've seen on the show was a Rhea Ripley promo that was like a minute long and a useless Liv Morgan segment that was about a minute long as well. And I said, okay, I guess I understand that then. Being that, Triple H was trying to avoid Twitter, calling him a sexist or a racist or a misogynist or one of their fucking words they like to throw around and label everybody on the planet as. Lyra Valkyria defeated Sonya Deville. She pinned Sonya Deville with a diving leg drop, which Wade Barrett, I believe, called a peripatia. The peripatia. So that's what he called it. They said she used to use it in NXT a lot. So, I'm assuming obviously that's where that came from. And the main event was Gunther versus Sami Zayn for the World Heavyweight Championship, as Sami played a fantastic come from behind babyface on this show. He did. He played the role tremendously. This man, it was shades of WrestleMania. It was actually exactly like a lot of what he was doing at WrestleMania. Gunther would hit a move, and Gunther would think he has this man down for the count, and Sami would start getting all fired up, and Gunther wouldn't know what to do because he just hit him with his best shot, and here Sami is, and he's pumping his fists, and his face is getting all red, and he's shaking his head all around, and he's getting all fired up and stuff. Sami kept doing it. Sami kept doing that, man, as Gunther did not know what to do. He kept hitting Sami with moves, and Sami was just firing himself up even more. He then hit him with a power bomb. Sami kicked out, and he went to fire himself up. He hit him with a lariat. Sami kicked out at 1. He went to fire himself up. Gunther panicked, put him in a sleeper hold. He didn't have his legs wrapped around him yet, so Sami's kind of squirming around, and he's kind of passing out, and the ref lifts up his hand, and he goes to drop it. Sami doesn't give, and he's getting fired up more and more and more. Gunther rolls back, is able to get his legs wrapped around Sami's waist, as once Gunther was able to get his legs wrapped around Sami's abdomen, pretty much sucked all the air out of Sami's, lungs, and Sami would eventually go out to the sleeper hold as Gunther retained the World Heavyweight Championship. As Gunther was standing on top of the stage at the end of the show, Sami was sitting there upset, defeated, and Cody Rhodes comes out for a face-off with Gunther that basically got cut off in the middle of it because time. And he faces off with Gunther. They both hold up their world championships as it looks like this is the match. It looks like this is what we're getting. it looks like this is what we're getting at Crown Jewel, and they did release the poster, and it did. It had Cody, and it had Gunther, and it had Nia Jax and Liv Morgan.
Boy, is that a fucking match, man. So, we'll see how that goes. But hopefully, this is the last Crown Jewel. Obviously they were saying, Triple H in that announcement that it's gonna be yearly thing, an annual. I feel like with the reaction that it got, I think this will be the only time they do this. So let's hope they get it out the way. Unless it's like a TKO and stouty thing, which that is a problem in itself.
Yes, 100%. 100%, man. Yeah, so obviously you guys know our thoughts on it, man. We talked about it in the Bad Blood review, but just such a stupid idea to do this kind of thing, man. And it sucks. It sucks because now we have champions facing each other when I know people in our comment section seem to be baffled by the idea of champions being protected, but that's kind of the fucking point of a champion. You're the top guy. You should not be subjected to being in situations where you lose unless it's losing the title itself. So,
Right. I've
yeah.
always complained about those Vince, champion, the
Oh,
champion loses, they get a title match. I complain about the Eliminator match in AEW, and I'm gonna complain about this here because it's stupid.
it's absolutely stupid. It's absolutely stupid, man. And yeah, that was everything. That was everything for that, as that was the first 2 hour Monday Night Raw since 2012. Crazy time, man. But with that, man, that is everything we got here today on this edition of Unscripted here today for you guys. This has been episode 216. As thank you guys very much for joining us here on today's episode. I hope you guys did enjoy. Thank you guys, everybody who came out, man. Hunter, my man, naysayers, bro. Thank you guys as always for joining us. And with that, man, it is always, always, always a pleasure for my Johnny.
And okay.
And that is going to do it for episode 216 here of Unscripted. Thank you guys so very much for joining us today on this episode, man. And thank you all. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you guys. We love you guys. And we'll see you all on Friday with the news and the Wrestle Dream 2024 predictions.
Peace.